All right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bahasham Dash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, peace, and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the men of the Lord, prophesying, preaching, and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Shalom, Barakathum. It's your brother Yara coming back at you, man. I just want to say a few words on the topic of faith, man. Faith is a very, very important topic. It's one of the basics, but it cannot be overstated. You know the importance of it. You know, a lot of the things that we deal with, even in our day to day, man. You go through plagues, whether you want, whether you want healing from an ailment, or maybe you want to get a particular job, or or you're having faith that the Lord's going to deliver you out of a sticky situation, man. All of it basically boils down to faith, man. Faith is the tool that we use to plead, with the Most High, that He has mercy on us, that He delivers us, and it's through these things that we're going to be delivered, man. The scriptures speak about, not being unequally yoked with unbelievers, man. That's why the scriptures tell us that, man, because unbelief is a very detrimental thing. It's like leaven in your spirit. You start doubting particular things, and all of a sudden, you going down the path, a rabbit hole of doubt, and the next thing you know, the chariots aren't biblical, and there was no miracles in the Bible. That's where that thing leads, man. But we got to realize that the thing that we're a part of, man, it's beyond the scope of the average imagination. It requires a special individual to do the work, to put their hand to the plow and show up on the highways and byways, to do videos, to minister to the meek, which are the hopeful elect. All right, that requires faith, man. And faith, just like a marriage, all right, it's like faith is like being betrothed, right? In terms of a comparison of a marriage, but when you consummate a marriage, is when you have sex, all right, and that's likened to works, So faith is to betrothal, all right, as sex is to having works. When you're betrothed, all right, you're technically promised to be married, right, but you're not physically married until it's consummated. And it's the same thing with faith, man. Faith, you're just in the status, you're in good standing, but you haven't sealed the deal until you put works behind it, man. When you read James, the second chapter, it basically outlines that, like it's good to have faith, but a real show of faith is going to be followed by works. Works are going to be the result of faith, and the same thing with a marriage. Sex is the result of a union, of a marriage. All right. So these things are very, very important, to understand that on a fundamental level. But I'm going to read a little bit of Hebrews, starting in the 4th chapter, to give us some context. This is Hebrews 4:1. It says, "Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into His rest, and any of you should seem to come short of it." All right. So some brothers, man, are gonna do the work. This is a scary thing to think of this too, man, because it could be any brother, you might know or you seen doing the work, and it's just, at the end of the day, it's not going to be enough faith, because faith is going to be the thing that allows us to go the distance, man. If you miss it by an inch, you missed it, and if you miss it, you're cast into outer darkness, as Yahweh Shai put it, And that comes with horrific judgment. That's why it's a very fearful thing, man. That's why it starts off by saying that, "Let us therefore fear, lest the promise being left us from entering into His rest, any of you should seem to come short of it." You don't want to come short of it, man. That's why faith is important. It says, "For unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them." All right, and it's talking about the elect, and it's talking about the 2/3 who are all going to hear it. As the scriptures say, many are called, but only few were chosen. It says, "But the word preached did not profit them." All right. Not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. So they heard it, but the faith wasn't there, man. All right. It's like planting a seed in infertile ground, man. It's like dropping a seed in concrete with no nutrients. You know, that seed is gonna wither away and die, man. There's nothing gonna grow out of it. All right. It says, "For we which have believed do enter into rest, as he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world." So we understand that the Lord has already written who was going to believe, who was going to scoff, who was going to shrug this thing off, go back into the world, plug their ears, whatever, you know. But ultimately, the characteristics and the things that you would see a reaction from the elect. They would hear the word, they would be convinced in their mind, in their minds they would be sealed, and they would do the work, all right, or they would be a help. They would repent, basically, you know. It says, "For he spake in a certain place of the seventh day on this wise, and the Most High did rest the seventh day from all his works. And this place again, if they shall enter into my rest." It says, "Seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached entered not in, because of unbelief." All right, and that's the spirit of unbelief I was speaking on earlier. You know, that's a very dangerous spirit. That's why it's wise not to hang or spend a bunch of time around a bunch of unbelievers, man. Because those spirits are contagious, man. You got to be in the spirit, all right. Be around brothers that are in the faith, that do believe, okay. And fast and praying, all these things. Satan has every avenue to get to us, man. So we should be doing everything we can to make sure our faith is fortified, is shored up, all right. By reading the scriptures, by doing videos. You know, just fasting, praying, whatever it takes. You know, it says again, he limited a certain day, saying in David, "Today, after so long a time, as it is said, today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your hearts." All right. For if Yahushua had given them rest, then he would not afterward have spoken of another day. There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of the Most High, for he that is entered into his rest, he also hath ceased from his own works, as the Most High did from his, man. All right. So it's just talking about that rest that we're going to get one day. We're putting in the work now so we can enter into that rest. And that's only going to be for the ones that have faith. It says, verse 11, this is really the main point. It says, "Let us labor, therefore, into that rest." All right. So that proves now is not our rest. This place where we're in right now is not our rest. Now is the time of labor. Now is the time of sowing seeds, all right, which is likened unto work, okay. It says, "Lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief." All right. So we're just supposed to keep our head down and do the work, man. It says, "For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and the joints and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart." All right. So that's why we harp on doing the work, man. You know, getting into the scriptures, because that's our best tool for cutting through wickedness, man, through evil doctrine. All right, to wayward doctrine, to all of these other different philosophies, to the wickedness going on the planet Earth. All right, to as it says in Isaiah 61, binding up the brokenhearted, man. All right, giving hope to the hopeless, man. All right, the word of the Spirit of the Most High does all of that, and the mechanism that's used is faith. All right, it says, "Neither is there any creature that is not manifest in his sight, but all things are naked and open unto the eyes of him with whom we have to do." All right. So, brothers have to remember that, man. A lot of the things that's going to get us through some of these situations that we're going to be in is going to be faith, man. You have to pray for it, man. And ultimately it's a gift, because we don't have it on our own to have faith, man. It's not within us to just generate raw faith, and different brothers have different levels of faith. Some I believe it was Thomas, he required to see more things happen and events occur before he fully got convinced in his mind, where other brothers didn't need to see it, that didn't need to see as much, you know. So ultimately, the levels of faith that you have is up to the Most High, but it's important that we pray for it, because it is important, you know. And we're gonna need it in the days where Esau is threatening us. All right, we're gonna have something called the hour of temptation, which is on the horizon. All right. What do you think is gonna get us through all of that, man? It's gonna be the faith that we have. All right. And this applies to everyday life, man. Whether you're going through things, you know, personal problems, you know, financial problems. All right. Whether you have a desire for a particular thing, you know, through faith we can get these things. There's nothing that we can't have if our faith is on the level, man. All right. Nothing. Okay. Anything our heart desires, the Lord can give it to us, man, through faith. Now let's move on through to Hebrews the 11th chapter. I'll start at 1. It says the triumph of faith. It says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. That's what faith is, literally. That shows you that there are things that are non-physical that exist. All right, because what is a substance? A substance is something. It's the material of existence. If there's substance to something, then that means it exists. And the substance of things that are hoped for, all right, is abstract, because you can't physically touch it, but it's still a substance. All right, it says the evidence of things not seen. So it's literally the proof. All right, the fact that we're on the highways and byways preaching the word, man, is proof that there's something in the spirit world that we can't see, smell, taste, hear. All right, is influencing the things that we do in this realm, the world that we can see, because we're on the highways and byways, man. All right, why else would we be doing that? Because there's a spirit world, there's an order in heaven, there's the Holy Spirit, all right, that quickens us, it gets on our spirits to do things in this realm. All right. So brothers doing videos on the highways and byways, these are all acts of faith, okay? And it takes a lot of faith to put yourself out there on the front lines, you know, condemning the devil, you know. You can possibly get fired from your job, you know. You got scoffers, you got bug outs that come up, you know. Let's read on. It says, for by it the elders obtained a good report. It says, through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. All right. That means the spirit realm begat the physical realm. All right. That means the spirit world existed first. When you read Genesis, all right, and it says in the beginning, the powers created the heavens and the earth. All right. That means the heavens, before the heavens and earth existed, something else existed before it. All right. And that's that realm that the Most High, through Yahweh Shai and the angels, existed in, man. The spirit realm. All right. How did Yahweh Shai do miracles? When Yahweh Shai is preaching that we can literally move mountains, where does that power come from? There's not enough physical energy in my physical body, you know, to move an entire mountain, but that energy exists in the spirit realm. All right. You see, it says through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. I'm gonna read that in see, the blue letter be tripping, man. It's just Satan been on this site all day, man. But nevertheless, I'll read down. Hebrews 11:4, it says, by faith Abel offered unto the Most High a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous. All right, so you see the righteousness was already existing in Abel. All right, and it was manifest through him offering the proper sacrifice. So that righteous energy, that righteous spirit in Cain was all in Salakia and Abel was already there, and that's why the righteous sacrifice happened. When you look at Cain, it says, which obtained a witness that he was a righteous, God testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. All right, because when you read Genesis, you know you hear the you hear a testimony of the Most High, basically saying Abel's blood crying out to him from the ground, man. When he confronted Cain in Genesis, the 4th chapter. All right. It says, by faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found because the Most High had translated him. For before his translation he had his testimony that he pleased the Most High. All right. So before you saw this, because being translated and coming up to the heavenly, that's like the ultimate validation of the Most High, if you will. That's reserved for very few, man. All right. But Enoch experienced it. The prophet Elijah experienced it, who came back as John the Baptist, by the way. And Yahushua experienced it, man. They were translated. A very, very high honor. But what happened before that? You saw great and mighty works, man. Elijah was preaching like nobody's ever preached, man. John the Baptist was preaching like nobody ever preached, man. All right. Enoch had to be doing the same thing, condemning this place, man. And that's the spirit that Enoch had, the faith and had the spirit on him to do it that way, because what was getting ready to happen, all right, when he was out there preaching and cursing people out, the flood, the Lord's getting ready to destroy everything. So they had fair warning, all right. The Lord had men on the scene even back then, all right, to give warning. It says, but without faith it is impossible to please him. All right. So that's why this is important, man. You can't have this weak ass spirit. You know, you got to pray for more faith that the Lord's going to do it. Say it with force. Say it with confidence. Say it with vigor, man. All right, with certainty. You know, and it's something that you pray for if you struggle in that area. Me personally, I can do better in that area. All right. It says, but without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is. All right. So that rules out all you atheists, all you wishy-washy ass niggas that are on the fence. Well, there's a higher power type niggas. There's not the Most High, but there's a higher power. I believe in the universe or some shit. You know, some weird new age version of the Most High. No, man. You got to believe that Yahweh, he is, okay? It says, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Okay? That's why diligence is so important, man. You want to be rewarded of the Most High, man. There's no greater reward. Nothing comes close, man. The things that Jake, you know, fawns over and chases and desires and dreams and fantasizes about of this world is just so low level, man. Y'all thinking about cars and big houses and hoes, smoking blunt, man. Come on, man. That's such a low level, man. You want to get the reward of the Heavenly Father, man. You know, look at the example of Solomon. What did he seek? All right, he sought wisdom, which is of the spirit of the Most High. And what did he get? He got the Lord blessed him with all that anyway. All right, he got women. He got all the riches. Okay. So you got to get your priorities straight, man. Faith is a fundamental thing that we need to make sure we're on point with, you know. And this is the last one. I'll end it here. It says, by faith Noah, being warned of the Most High of things not seen as yet. All right. So things already happened in the spirit world. All right. Which put the spirit on Noah to do a physical thing, which was go out there and do what? Build an ark. So something abstract in the realm of faith in the spirit world occurred that put the spirit on Noah to go out there, all right, and build the ark. It says, moved with fear, All right. So this thing manifested as fear. It says, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. So not only did he get absolved of the judgment of this world, which is a horrific judgment, okay, but he became an heir to the righteous. So he gave birth to the seed line, the chosen seed line, man. All right. And it wasn't Ham or Japheth. It was Shem down to Arphaxad, all right, all the way down to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay. So he was blessed, his lineage, by doing the right thing, all right, because he had faith. And you got to remember, during this time there wasn't a drop of rain going on in the time of Noah, but he still had faith, man. You know how much work it takes to build an ark that size, man, to hold all those animals? How long it probably took him to do it, you know? Backbreaking labor at the same time, people showing up talking shit, you know? That takes faith, man. And that's what the Lord requires of us, man. Now, it's not everybody's not gonna have the same faith as Noah, or the same faith as other brothers might have, you know? But faith is required, man. And remember, Peter, he had doubt when Yahweh Shai told him to walk on the water. All right. But Peter was the head of the church. So, you know, don't look at it as if your faith is not on the level as another brother, that the Lord isn't dealing with you. You just got to remember that faith is a requirement in general, you know, not a certain level of faith. All right. But you got to remember, the Lord gave one man 5 talents, one man 10 talents, one man got 1 talent, you know. But at the end of the day, he's dealing with the men who are going to go out and make good on those talents. That's the main point. It's not that you finish the race first, it's that you finish the race, man. All right. So I just wanted to bring that out, man. So my spirit, man, there's brothers, there's nothing that we can't do, including overcoming this trouble that we're getting ready to go through, man. All right. Nothing. Okay. So with that, hopefully y'all brothers were edified. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Racha Kudash Wa Abba Babal and Shalom.